is how I start all of my streams. Happy draft day, everyone. I think I'm a minute early, but I'm excited. I'm gonna let everyone sort of trickle in, but while we do, and while we wait for this draw to officially get underway, I don't know how much like musical, I was gonna say interference, I don't know how much show we're gonna have before we start picking names out of a hat. Hopefully we'll get to the good part pretty quickly. Hello everyone. Hey TG, good to see you. Always good to see you on live. It's not always you can grace us with your presence, so it's good to see you. Managor, I am streaming this on YouTube only. I've been playing with the idea of my voice is weird today. I've been playing with the idea of Twitch. I mean, I have another channel just on hold and waiting right now because I don't know what to make of Football Manager 26. But yeah, for now I'm just here today. James says this draw will go on for hours. I think it will. It's lunchtime here and I haven't eaten, so I have girl dinner set up for, oh, okay, yeah, let's just open with Andrea Bocelli. I didn't know he was still around, but good for him. I've got girl dinner ready for lunch because I haven't eaten lunch yet, and I know I'm gonna get hungry because I know this is gonna go on for a while. I also have to get out of here eventually and do some work, so hopefully, tight 2 hours. We can wrap this up. I don't have the audio on the stream right now, so y'all let me know what Andrea Bocelli is singing about. I'll turn the audio up from myself in a little bit, and I'm hoping it won't interfere with what you're hearing. Yeah, Jim, I was gonna say, for people who don't like mukbangs, I'm sorry, but girl dinner is definitely happening. At one point, it consists of 1.5 oatmeal cookies, a banana, and some all-dressed chips. A true girl dinner. Let me know, everyone, which broadcast you're watching of this. I'm not sure if everyone's getting this. I'll assume that everyone is getting the same feed. And then commentators from different places might hop in and out. I've got the Canadian broadcast, or like our version of ESPN open, and I was also looking at the Associated Press one. Came up high in my search results, and I'm assuming, and it was different things, but I'm assuming that now we're all watching the same thing. Like, we're all getting the same Andrea Bocelli. We're all getting the same shot of Mr. FIFA and Mr. United States. Look at that slow zoom. But let me know how you're watching, where you're watching from, and how bad you expect this draw to be for your country. Oh, cheers. Yes, I also have water here, which is not part of girl dinner, but let's see. Yeah, this Casper, it's gonna be a long set. I knew they'd have music earlier on in the week, or like last week. The countdown was a little off on the FIFA website, so I was like, oh, maybe like the draw happens now and the music happens before that, but no, we're getting the music now. Jim, I did not know that her sister came up with girl dinner. It's absolutely true, though. I've lived on girl dinner since that's not, well, yeah, I love a good girl dinner, and sometimes it's girl lunch, and it's fantastic. Casper says, I really hope for a group of the Netherlands, Curacao, Morocco, and a fourth country. Casper, that could be a fun. I mean, I would feel bad for Curacao in that draw, because it could end up being a really difficult group if you got Morocco, Netherlands, and then like a strong country coming up through the playoffs. That could be very interesting. I would like that. Patrick, you just got home from work. I think you have time. Again, I'm not listening to the draw right now, but Jelly is still. I just glanced at the thing for the first time. I'm flipping between the draw. Was he singing a national anthem? Because I was flipping between the draw and chat, and when I looked back at the draw, there was an American flag over the trophy, and now I'm wondering if it was the American national anthem. Let me know if you can hear this when I unmute the feed. Okay, and now we've got I think that's Heidi Klum. Oh yeah, okay, there you go, Heidi Klum and Kevin Hart. Was that a national anthem? And if so, did they only do America? Because that would be funny, but I wouldn't put it past them. Watching the BBC feed, John Murray on screen, who's a Geordie. I wonder if I can see the BBC stream from here. I should look into that. Ronald asks if I could make a video about Inter versus Whitecaps. I would love to. Do I have faith in the Whitecaps? You know what? Vancouver's popping off with soccer this year. Between the MLS and their women's team and the NSL winning the championship, it's a good year for Vancouver soccer. Okay. So Jim is letting me know that it was not a national anthem, which is better. Matthew says this should be a really interesting draw. I hope the new format is going to make for some intriguing groups. It should. I hope that it makes for some intriguing groups and that we're not just getting a boring group stage as we discussed in last week's video. But, positive vibes. We'll see how this goes. We've got some Japanese flags in the chat. Which pod is Japan in? I should pull up. Let me pull up like pods for myself. Because off the top of my head, let's see. Japan is in pod 2, which is what I would have guessed. I think that's Eli Manning. Mueller signing for Whitecaps is maybe one of the biggest coups in North American transfer history, beyond all the Inter Miami signings. Yeah, Inter Miami has a chokehold now on the league, but I was shocked when I saw the Whitecaps signing. And I mean, it's like what people have been saying about the MLS since, like, Gareth Bale, I think it was, joined LA back in the day. Like, it's somewhat still of a retirement league at this point, but it's moving in the right direction. It's interesting. Well, yeah, it's interesting that the NWSL is often considered one of the two best, if not the best, women's league in the world. Which, by the way, I didn't watch the Women's League Cup draw, but I heard the stories, and I heard the horror stories. So, if you watched it, let me know what you thought. from what I've heard, I think it is a huge shame that they took that direction. I mean, like, I'm here. I would have done the draw, and I wouldn't have. And I know a thing or two about football, but like jokes aside, it is shocking that in 2025 multiple people signed off on the whole like I'm just a girl who knows nothing about soccer storyline, when it is a women's football draw and there's a bunch of very knowledgeable people talking about women's football out there. Like if you wanted to use an influencer or an internet personality, didn't have to go that way. So I think it's a shame, but the attention that it brought, I mean, the message was clear, right, from everyone on the outside of the women's league, that like, no, we want quality, knowledgeable coverage of our football. Yes, Jim, I am referencing GK Berry. I've never seen her content before, so like I have to stay pretty neutral about it. Like, I don't know if that's part of her act. Okay, it was a complete nightmare. Okay. Am I right in thinking that GK Berry is the partner of a football player? Which makes it even worse. But I think we're in for a better show, a better draw today. Louise says, hope Canada get an easy group. I think it's relative. I think I think the fact that we're in pot 1, I mean, there's no good way, right? We don't belong in pot 1 is the point. So yes, as a host country, we're getting like theoretically easier opponents, but a Morocco, a Japan. Speaking of Japan, the women's national team was destroyed in Japan last week. But like, yeah, we could be in pain depending on how this draw goes. And now I see Gianni Infantino's taken the stage, so we might be going right into the draw. Jim says the fact that it was her partner who was doing the draw with her, who plays for Portsmouth and had been part of the cup already. Yeah, okay, so I got that info right. It's so embarrassing. It's like, what do you say? Imagine they got Edison Ray or something to do part of the draw. Okay, that was outside. No disrespect to Addison, just trying to think of an American influencer. Yeah, or, I mean, it's like, if they got, like, Haley Steinfeld to do, like, the NFL, I can't think of my words right now because I'm in soccer mode. You know, draft. I was like, it's not draw, but it's something similar. If they got Haley Steinfeld to do the NFL draft, and then she was acting dumb about it the entire time, it's just like, don't do it then. Don't. Just turn down the money, it's okay. Ronald says, why is the final going to be in Miami? That stadium is really bad. I haven't been to that stadium. I feel like it should have been Atlanta or something. In a Chipotle or something. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, it didn't the whole thing seem like it was filmed on, hey, there's our prime minister. What a charming little dude. Yeah, it looked cheap from what I've seen. It's just all around bad. But back to the stadium. Yeah, I feel like it should have been maybe Atlanta, maybe somewhere better. It's obvious why it's in Miami, though. Could have been at the MetLife. That makes sense. it's all sort of like, well, in my opinion, it's all Messi influence, right? Which is a shame, because if you want to grow the sport throughout the continent, and I'm not even gonna pretend that the final should be in Canada, but like, I understand that it's in the States. I'm not arguing against that. But if you want the sport to grow across the continent, like, don't just go where there's already so much publicity and attention because of Messi. Jim says they're surely hoping for an Argentinian presence in the final. Exactly, yeah. Argentina versus Spain, as we talked about in last week's video. They are, I'm not going to say rigging the bracket, but the bracket is going to be fixed in a way that Spain, Argentina cannot meet until the final, and France and England cannot meet until the final. So it's all messy. I think we agree on that. I'm sorry for that. I don't know if you guys can hear that like low rumble outside. Oh, that's what you're hearing now is the trash collectors. It's not the usual buzzing. I just heard a beeping noise. So I think it's the trash collectors. It's noon. They're a little late today. Alright, what is Gianni telling us? I should turn up. Look at all of these men wearing the exact same suit. The same thing as happened in the Rugby World Cup. The bigger teams have relatively favorable draws to allow them to progress with a fair amount of ease. Yeah. Which brings us back to Canada being in pot 1. Because we are co-hosts. Which can only help us get out of the group stage, but any draw, I'll put it this way, any draw will be more challenging for us than it will be for Mexico, or the United States, or Spain, or Argentina, or France, or England, etc., etc. There's, isn't Brazil, Argentina always a good matchup? I wonder how that's gonna line up for the bracket. I wonder if we could get, let me know in the chat, like, who other the matchups that we know won't happen. Argentina versus Spain, England versus France. Let me know in the chat which matchups you're hoping to see at some point along the way. What's gonna be an interesting draw? Should I be turning on my audio? What is Gianni? Gianni, right? Oh, I turn on the audio just when he says now the Canadians. I'm listening, sir. Never ask Canadians to be allowed in a crowd. Mexico. I've been to a lot of concerts in my life, and concerts for American artists and UK artists and even Canadian artists, and they often I've heard from the artists themselves that like Canadians are very polite at concerts, which is not ideal, I think, for an artist, because like they feed off your energy, and Canadians are just very like polite, keep to themselves, just like kind of looking up, smiling at the artist. So I'm pleasantly surprised that people did yell back at Johnny just now. Yeah, Infantino basically psyching up to the US. I mean, how much time did he spend at the White House recently? Netherlands versus Belgium would be interesting this time around. Everyone's letting me know that he was just yapping and grandstanding and insisting upon himself. Patrick says, I believe FIFA planned for 2 hours for this event. I was laughing because at first glance I thought you said 2 weeks as a joke. I think it was 2 hours too. And we're 20 minutes in and there's 48 teams to draw. Well, 48 minus 6, but you know. So we should get the ball rolling. Pun half intended. And get this show on the road. While we're on commercial break though, speaking of insisting upon itself, I just finished watching Mare of Easttown for the first time. Not just like last night, I finished watching Mare of Easttown. And Shakira. And that is a show that insists upon itself. However, it's Kate Winslet, so still worth a watch. What an amazing actress. And watching Mare of Easttown reminded me, as I was talking to my dad, of her episode of Extras. That was some good fun. So I rewatched that episode of Extras, where she's like playing in a war movie, and then Ricky Gervais, she says, but written by Ricky Gervais, that she's doing a Holocaust movie to win an Oscar, and then after the fact, she won an Oscar in real life for being in a Holocaust movie. I just love that so much. Life imitates art. Alright, so what's happening now? Heidi Klum just introed something. I'm gonna turn up the volume on myself for a second. Robbie Williams and Nicole Scherzinger, are they doing a song? I haven't heard Nicole Scherzinger sing in about, I don't want to say, it could be 20 years. Oh my god, I'm old. We're all so old. I thought saying the last time I heard Nicole Scherzinger sing was 20 years ago was like a gross exaggeration, but it has to be at least 20 years ago that the Pussycat Dolls were around. Gary says, come on, Scotland in pot 3. Gary, I don't know if this is an obvious question. I don't know if the answer is like Canada, Australia, and Haiti or something, but who are you hoping to draw for Scotland in your group? Jim Gervais lives in your neighborhood. Is he a good neighbor? I can't say I've got any recognizable no, never mind, I'm not thinking. Sorry, I was gonna say a childhood someone who was a star to me in my childhood she might live around here, but I don't know anymore. In Toronto, I lived around some familiar faces. Neither have been too relevant for about 15 years, says Volatile. It's just Jim. Didn't Robbie Williams have a movie recently where he was like a monkey? Or a monkey was he? Or something like that. I don't know. It might have bombed at the box office. It wasn't talked about very much in Canada, but how's this song? Ryan Gosling, Martin Freeman, Benedict Cumberbatch, Sam Smith, David Mitchell, Boy George. He did, it was wrong. Are those the people who live in your area, Jim? I forgot Ryan Gosling is one of you now. He used to be one of ours. Well, he still is one of ours, but... Oh. I thought I was about to get murdered on stream, but I just realized what the noise was I heard. Clumsy says Robbie Williams is really doing the rounds at present. Yes, he's trying to like make a comeback. I need to turn on my volume for a second here, Nicole Scherzinger. Oh. Do we know what the official FIFA tournament song is this year? Has it been released? His suit looks like a curtain. Only the best curtain grade satin for Mr. Williams. Nice, exactly, a nice curtain. Chris says, which team am I supporting? I'm supporting Canada in the group stage. Obviously we haven't drawn groups yet, but until we draw groups, I'm gonna say odds are that Canada does not make it past the group stage, in which case I usually default back to the fatherland, England. My background is French, so England is not my fatherland. I should be supporting France, but England has my heart, so it's gonna be England. Have some confidence in Canada, says Jim. Jim, I think, yeah. Jim, you've got a few teams, like between Poland, Wales, England, and Canada. Who do you have least faith in? The expansion will be beneficial, for sure. For sure, because since we're drawing in groups, in pots 2, 3, and 4, the more good teams we can cram into pot 1, the better it is for us, and the better our chances to get out of the group stage. But regardless, I think we can all agree, I think it's safe to say, if I was a betting man, I would say that England is going to go further than Canada. So, once Canada are out, if they're, look, I hope I'm proven, I hope we can clip this, and in seven months we can all make fun of me for saying Canada was going to be out early, and we're going to, but I've been around here for a while. Jim says probably Poland. Okay, yeah, that's true. I was I'm thinking of Poland at the Euros, but of course that was the women's team with the one and only Kayla Adamek. Scotland to win it, says Bicentris. Surprised the USA qualified. That's what I always say. 187 is that I'm just glad that Canada qualified the legitimate way 4 years ago. Excuse me, FIFA Peace Prize. I could only see half of my screen. What word did they put before the name Donald Trump? I just saw a bull. And I want to know what type of a bull they're calling him. Oh, this is getting strangely political. I don't like it. I'm just gonna ignore what's going on my screen. England could easily fluff our lines. Too many potential egos. That's very true. England will get to the final again and bottle it. Yeah, all this to say, I was glad that Canada qualified the traditional way 4 years ago, because it justifies us being here today. Was it really honorable, Jim? Oh, they're glazing Trump. This is so weird. I can't imagine that the Canadian Prime Minister, or Mexico has a president or a Prime Minister. I can't imagine they're gonna get highlight reels like this, and I almost hope that they don't. Like, as a Canadian, that would make me cringe. How long is this highlight reel of Donald Trump? Oh my god. So, I'm gonna be supporting Canada. I'm gonna be supporting England. And I'm thinking of my friends here. Denmark's not in. Norway for sure. Just because I want my friends to be happy. Yeah. I think England's gonna be like my till the end team, unless Canada is like. I'll say now, if Canada lasts as long as England. FIFA Peace Prize, for crying out loud. Mexico has a president. Okay, as I thought. Raven says I'm here for Norway. That's right. Massaging his ego to keep the apocalypse at bay. There's too much money in this tournament for the apocalypse to come before July, Jim. Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna turn up the volume for this. I'm sorry. I'm a bit of a sadist, I guess. Someone bring out GK Perry. After July 4th, the world is in trouble. Wouldn't be surprised if Salt Bay turns up again, says Jim. Honestly, we should have given Salt Bay the FIFA Peace Prize. He's not falling asleep. No, of course not. He's been given an award. He's finally getting his Nobel Peace Prize. Has the man ever watched a football game? Jim says, look at his little medal. That's the thing, Christopher. It's like we're really dwelling on this. Yes, it's not like a consolation prize, but a participation award. Clumsy says GK Perry's draw being more ethical than the FIFA Peace Prize was not on my bingo card. Did we know this was happening? Like, was this announced? Because if it was, I surely missed it. But this, and I'm not surprised that FIFA is doing this. I'm not surprised that the administration is welcoming this treatment, because it's FIFA and it's the American government. It's the current American government, but it's been at least 5 to 10 minutes now. Yeah. Just took the program and scratched in a little 15-minute ceremony. Okay, Chris says it was announced a while back. That's true, Raven. It's a talking point, like we were saying about GK Barry earlier. Like, as embarrassing as that was, people talked about the Women's League Cup draw that wouldn't have otherwise. I just don't like it. Evans 100% because he didn't get the Nobel. Isn't the Nobel Prize Norwegian or Swedish? I think it's Norwegian. I want them to put the camera right on like the Norwegian representative. Saved millions of lives. Does he sound? Is that what he sounds like these days? Or is he a little husky right now? Nobel is Swedish, okay. It was one of two. One of two, Jim. I love that he's wearing the medal. And that it's all tangled up. Nobel is the enemy. My sincerest apologies to the Norwegians in the chat. He's going to sell that, isn't he? He's gonna melt it down. You know what? Melania looking just fine. I want him to say Bigley again. I can't believe how long this is going. Why is he? I'm sorry, but saying our Prime Minister of Canada and our President of Mexico. It would not have jumped out at me if he hadn't previously made comments about, like, this is just gonna anger Canadians about the whole 51st state and Governor of Canada BS again. It's good though. I mean, the Four Nations hockey tournament, thank God, that was literally 15 to 20 minutes. The Four Nations hockey tournament happened when we were like at the height of political disagreements between, obviously recent, modern, between the United States and Canada, and that made for a really interesting head-to-head between the United States and Canada. So listen, if they want to spark that up again, and if Canada can meet the United States at some point in the World Cup, it would be a pleasure. Not that we can necessarily win. I mean, we could win against America. Memes galore, says Raven. Yeah. Oh yeah, I should just start drawing. We should just do our own little draw and call it there. Then we can call up FIFA and be like, don't worry about it, guys. It's been done. It was all legit. It was on camera. Although, does FIFA really care about legitimacy and ethics? I think it would hurt our cause if we told them that we did it legitimately. Wasn't that something else that happened with GK Barry? Didn't she like put teams back in that had already been drawn? Alright, what is Heidi Klum saying now? Okay, just some more ceremony. But we're bringing out the trophy. That's got to be a good sign, right? Hi. Are there? No, there's no closed captions. Not on the feed that I'm watching. Yeah, she took a ball out again, but the adjudicator said, it's fine. If you're not FIFA, the Northerners have done your job for you. You can all retire now. Like, I knew that this was going to be... I knew we were looking at 2 hours, but I thought that maybe after a half hour, we'd start drawing some names. I'm so sorry. I said this at the top of the stream, but it is lunchtime here. If there are more people that are not into mukbang here than those who are, then I'll just mute when I take bites. Oh, that was loud. Well, it's not a proper lunch. As you know, Jim, it is a girl dinner for lunch. I still haven't tried the veggie haggis. I wanted to the weekend after we talked about it, and I haven't gotten around to it. I haven't bought any yet. Jim, we talked about this. Don't make me kick you out of the chat. Haggis poutine. There's no such thing. I think people will say that. I think you would talk to some French Canadians who would say that like meat on poutine is okay as long as your 3 base ingredients are there. I'm not part of that. I'm not part of that group. It's fries, gravy, brown sauce, which is gravy without meat, and cheese curds. On the East Coast, even within Canada, some people do it wrong, because on the East Coast of Canada, they do it with mozzarella, which is absolutely disgusting. It's just wrong. Very Canadian. I'm eating the banana with a knife. I wouldn't normally, but I know better than to eat a banana on the internet in the traditional sense. Yeah, I need that potassium to keep going, guys. It's a marathon, not a sprint, you know. Wasn't it, remember Sharapova used to eat bananas during her games? And the big thing was like, by the time the banana kicks in, the match will be over. But, there's a word I'm looking for. Cut the banana up. That is the right call. Raven. Placebo effect is real. So, I don't doubt that the banana helped her. You've never seen a Canadian that eats a banana? Massimo, have you been around Canadians? Big banana eaters. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that a different way. Halftime oranges, that's true. Also, I'm not an orange girl. I love a clementine, which I think you guys call them satsumas. Love a satsuma. Not huge on oranges. And then when I played soccer growing up, and it was always oranges at halftime. I was like, don't they care about people who aren't crazy about oranges? oranges. As an adult, I'll eat an orange if, like, you know, if I'm at a continental breakfast, I'll have an orange. But it is clementine season, and I'm so happy about it. It's one of my favorite fruits. What are your favorite fruits? Clementine's in my top 5. Yeah. And do we have to count berries separately? You know, because that's tough. Granny Smith apples are S tier, says Jim. Are Granny Smith green apples? They're not. I wouldn't put an apple in a top 5 or in an S tier. I'm sorry. I could do a fruit tier list. That sounds like a members exclusive, James. They are the crunchy green ones. They're probably some of the best apples, but no apple belongs in S tier because they just end up making you hungrier. And I disagree with you. I disagree with you about the slightly chilled satsumas. They have to be room temp. I keep them in the fridge, but then you take like 4 of them out at a time to get to room temperature, so that when you're ready to eat them, 2 at a time, twice 2 satsumas, then they're like the perfect temperature. Okay, alright guys, get together in the comments and tear me apart about apples. Although we have a color debate going on, because Raven says that reds are best. Oh, fine, Jim, but hey, here's Prime Minister Carine. Gonna pick out the first few balls. Okay, the thing is starting. What I was gonna say is that satsumas, clementines, are a winter fruit. So I don't want them in my fridge in the summer, Jim. You know what I want in my fridge in the summer? Cantaloupe, avocado, the odd grape. Berries always. Banana not in the fridge. I think we're starting. I don't think it would be fruit. That would be the thing that drove you away. I'll gain back your affection, Jim, slowly but surely. How long is this talking part gonna last? It's funny because Carine and Trump are both wearing the colors of their parties. And it's the same color, but they're on opposite ends of the political spectrum. Oh, so Trump knows what he's doing. Perfect. Where was the French? If we're going Spanish, where was the French? Someone tell me something about this president of Mexico. She looks fun. It does look like a presidential debate. Except that the presidential debate would be over by now. Phenomenal. It's happening, guys. It's happening. Who's going to be at the fourth podium? Is it going to be Gianni? Are they... they're not going to keep the leaders up there to draw the whole thing, are they? I guess they will. First woman president of Mexico. That's awesome. Canada's had a woman prime minister, but by accident more than anything else. I'm gonna have to look into this Mexican president. Massimo says for us Italians, the draw doesn't matter at all. It matters. It matters, Massimo. I think you guys are in. I think you gotta be looking at those 4 UEFA spots. Oh, that's so cool, Jim. Lithuanian immigrants. I thought there will be new people to do the draw every pot. It's happening, guys. I feel like they could have done that off stage. Like, 5 minutes before the draw, you go to them and you're like, hey, here's how you unscrew the ball. Show it to the public. Alright, let's go. It's starting now. It's officially underway. Canada. Was that fixed? Alright, so that gives us Group A. Group B. If Trump draws USA, yeah, okay, it is fixed. Oh, dear God. If they were gonna do that, why are we doing this if we know it's going to be the United States? Yeah. For once, I agree with him. If they were going to do that, and Mexico, I understand now why we were automatically assigned Group B. It's because of the way the group stage matches are arranged to make sure that Canada's playing in Canada, etc. But order to do Canada first? Wouldn't you just do Mexico first since they're Group A? Already wasted an hour, says Christopher. Well, they wasted 5 more minutes by doing this thing with a selfie. Yeah, let's go, Gianni. You're right. Let's go. Alright. The draw hasn't started. Zerasnik says, when is the long stave going to start? Thank you for asking. I was mentioned that at the beginning of the stream. I don't know where we are, right? Like, there's a lot of problems with the game, but I still want to do it. So do we go back to FM24 and use mods to play on FM24, or do we play FM26? Let me know what you think, because we do need to get started on the long save. You're right. And thank you to everyone who's subscribed and is kindly and patiently waiting for the long save. I think we'll get it started next, like over the weekend, like Sunday, Monday, maybe would be fun. I have to keep going with the Newcastle save. I keep forgetting that I have episode 3 is filmed. It was filmed when we were still in beta, and I just have to do a new intro for it now because it's been so long, and I do want to mention the long save and all of that. So, trying to figure out. I also saw that Clem ASMR started an FM channel. I have to check it out. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if it's ASMR or not. Yeah, Raven, I do wonder the same thing about why they skipped a group. Again, it might have something to do with fixing the group stage, or the elimination stage. But it does feel weird that they just skipped Group C. Massimo says, my Jonathan David at Juventus. Not a good start, but I hope to score more goals for now. I wanted John David at Newcastle so bad. There was like 3 days where that was the rumor. I thought, like, that would have been, I would have been perfectly happy if John David, we were talking about getting John David when we still had Isaac, and that's not to say I'm not happy with the Newcastle attacker. Like, I'm very happy with Valdemade. I'm happy with Gordon. I'm happy. Could John David play for Jacob Murphy? Probably. But if we could get a Canadian at Newcastle, I would be so happy. Either John David or Alfonso Davies would be excellent. Yeah, I would love that. But that means, Massimo, that if for some strange reason Italy, I'm sure Italy is gonna qualify for the World Cup, but if Italy doesn't qualify, then you get to watch and cheer for John David in Canada. Jim says FM26 are bringing back touchline shouts. Yes, I'm very happy about that, as long as it makes a difference. But you're still saying FM24 with mods, doing a long save on FM24 with Fulham. We're 12 days away, Jim, from the big match. Oh, thank you so much, Jim, for your support. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are here with me watching the draw. We've all just been waiting an hour to see a ball come out of a pot, so it really is my pleasure. But thank you so much, Jim. Toronto know it's going to be beautiful sports chaos next summer with the World Cup and the inaugural Tempo season. Very true. Very good summer for Toronto sports. And then we'll see what happens with the Blue Jays. Speaking of the Blue Jays, Jim, a new fan of... that's true if they ever sort out the CBA. So last I heard, the WNBA, or the Players Association, they've re-extended. I think it was like November 1st or October 31st or November 1st was supposed to be the initial deadline for the WNBA CBA, and then they missed it. And then there was a new deadline of December 1st or November 30th, and then they didn't have a contract written up by then. And I think I saw that they extended it once more. And at this point, it's just embarrassing. If you're gonna take a labor action, if you're gonna go on strike, then do it. It's the off season too. But instead, you're kind of showing your hand by being like, "Oh, we'll give you another extension." Like, what's the point? It was my, and I know it's tricky because these girls have to go and play in Europe in the winter because the salary is a problem. So I don't know. 40-day extension. So much. 12 days away from Newcastle being soundly beaten. Gemma. Need I remind you? Need I remind you that we are the Lauryn Hill. I did not expect this. Now it's getting good. I gotta put her on mute though so I can talk to you guys. What is going on with our teams this season? Carine, Michael, I have to tell you that the only thing that makes me feel okay about what's happening at Newcastle is that Isak is struggling at Liverpool. Is it petty? Absolutely. But it feels good. Max says, I can't get excited for a Toronto sports team. They're always decent, but then find a way to mess it all up. It's the Toronto curse. It's the Leafs curse. And I don't think the Leafs are doing very good right now, are they? Or not as well as they should be. Yeah, I mean, listen, I say this as a Senators fan. When you're below the Senators in the standings, you're doing something wrong. 27 games played, 13 wins, 11 losses. They're 1 point behind Ottawa. They are on a winning streak though, but it's a bad year for the Leafs. It's early. It's early. It's the first half of the season. Have I ever made the final of a major continental tournament? I have in Football Manager, so Alan Shearer, one of your best favorite players. Shearer is on the back of this jersey here. That's a Shearer jersey. Voltamade is the real deal, absolutely. Jordy, we can't wait to have you back. There's a fruit ranking video coming up. we want Bichette to stay, Jim. You're an all-in Jays fan now, and I love it. AJ, it is very Americanized, but it felt very Americanized when we were giving Trump the Peace Prize. But I think Lauryn Hill is a great shout to have on the show. I think it could have been a lot of other people, and I think it's a good thing that it's Lauryn Hill. And I mean, it's always going to be like the host country, not always, but I agree with the fact that host countries should have their performers performing at the world, like at these kinds of things. So I'm happy with Lauryn Hill's appearance. The audience is not a bunch of old heads. Yeah, I'd be on my feet right now. But yeah, no, I'm not American, and I don't mind. I like that Lauryn Hill is there. But that might be because I'm an old head. Like, who's AGP? You might be young and fresh. I'm an old person now, so I'm like, fuck, no, Lauryn Hill. Thank you very much, Mr. Hawks. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Max says you live in the GTA, though, so it's like you have to support them. 100%. I was in Toronto for over 10 years. Or just about 10 years. And, did they get me? Not really. Like, the Raptors are like a secondary team for me. Like the Jays. But the Leafs, I never converted to being a Leafs fan. I'm not a Scepters fan, but I was gone from Toronto by the time the Scepters came around. I'm not really, I guess push come to shove, I'm a Charge fan, but Leafs are shaky. Leafs are very shaky. Drake next. Well, that's what I'm saying, Mac, is that I hope we're seeing a Canadian artist and a Mexican artist. The thing about Canadian artists is that they very quickly become, because of the language, if someone does really, really well in Canada, they'll usually go on and be recognized in the States as well, for the Anglophones. Oh yeah, AJP, the show is going on way too long. Whether it's musical performances or just yapping, like, it didn't need to be this long, for sure. Jordy, I'm sorry I called you old. I'm sorry I called you an old head by accident. Have I checked my Spotify Wrapped? So talk about being an old head, Patrick. I use Apple Music rather than Spotify. It's a problem, I know. And just before I was coming on here, I was like playing music while I was setting up the stream, and my Apple Music Wrapped came up, and they don't do the age thing. But I know that the age thing is a thing on Spotify, because speaking of the Prime Minister who's at this event right now, I saw a clip going around the web of someone asking him what his Spotify age was, and he said 44. I don't get that on Apple, but I did look at my Wrapped earlier. 81 is... What do you listen to, Patrick? Of the host nations, Webhead. I think, again, without seeing the groups, I think that the USA and Mexico are going to make it out of their groups, and then either be out in the first elimination round of 32 or the round of 16. I'll wait to see what group Canada draws, but without knowing Canada's group, I mean, I believe in John Herdman. It depends. Ask me again when we've seen the groups. Draw. 40 some groups. Someone let me know what Heidi Klum is saying if I need to turn on my audio again. In Canada, is Serie A available? Serie A is, I think, available on, like, I do think we have on DAZN, we have Serie A, if not on Fubo, but I think one of our sports streaming platforms carries it. And I should be watching Juve, and I should be watching John David. Early 60s is some good music. I've gotten into I'm drawing a blank right now. The Staple Singers. The Staple Singers were one of my discoveries this year, which I think is more late 60s, early 70s. But that might have bumped up my Spotify age as well if I had Spotify. My top artist was Billie Eilish, I think. Let me see if I can pull it back up. How do I see it? I don't want to accidentally start playing music. Where do I go to find it? Oh. Don't play music. Apple Music pays their artists better. Oh, well, there you go. No shame anymore. I've thought about showing it in picture-in-picture, but I would get copyright stricken immediately, so maybe we can pull something from FIFA's window. But I recommend opening 2 windows if you want to watch both at once, because I think that might be breaking the law. I'm old, not dead. I love it, MacBag. Top artist is Sam Cooke for Patrick. Listen mostly to soul music and some current Dutch artists. Well, I'm glad to hear that Spotify is bad and I'm helping the world by using Apple Music. My top artist was Billie Eilish. My second top artist was Mac Miller. Very, very close second. Top song was Chihiro by Billie Eilish, followed by an old Robin song, which is surprising. It's been over 20 minutes since the 3 hosts were drawn. Yep, we are in no rush. Top albums, other than the artists we've already talked about, one of my top 5 albums was 99 Nights by Charlotte Gardin, which I think was an album from the previous year. I guess I just listened to it a lot. Which Robin song? Jim, it is Hang With Me from the Body Talk album, which isn't necessarily my favorite one, like my favorite Robin song of all time, but I guess I listened to it a lot this year. Top songs by month. I apparently had like a Doja Cat winter, because in January my top song was Kill Bill. In February my top song was Kiss Me More. Then we get into some Robin, some Billie Eilish. June, the top song was One Thing by, I can't open it, I think it's Lola Young. In June, I was traveling with some friends, and they were in charge of the music on my phone. Because I didn't know Lola Young before that trip, but it's a very good song. August I got into Sabrina Carpenter, but like from the Short and Sweet album. I was so late on Sabrina Carpenter. I'd never really gotten into her music. And then I think I listened to her Tiny Desk this summer. And I was like, oh, this is very poppy, but it's very good. So I started listening to her album. But I liked like the country vibe of it. I know it's overdone now, but I really like the way she did it. And then around that time, her new stuff came out, Man-Child. And I think it's just as, I mean, talk about Doja Cat. Doja Cat is also having like an 80s era right now, as is Sabrina Carpenter. And I'm not feeling that synthy right now. So like I feel like I got into Sabrina Carpenter too late. Because the new stuff isn't on repeat. I totally respect what she's doing. I think I think Sabrina Carpenter's path has been super cool, but the new album is not hitting as hard for me, and that's a me problem. Yeah, Body Talk, Jim. I think Body Talk would have to be like in my top 10 albums of all time. I think all the parts put together. Okay, I'll have to actually listen to the full album, because I've listened to Man-Child a few times and I'm just like looking for a little bit more twang, but I should give her full album a listen. Exactly. Radio pop can be, there's no shame in enjoying radio pop. It can be very there can be a lot of artistry in it. The Juno position from her Tiny Desk was that, I remember, isn't it the she turns around and she's got the little things hanging, and I think she's genius. And I think the indication that Sabrina Carpenter is a little bit of a pop genius is the fact that, from what I've heard, I've never been like another artist I respect, but I don't listen to her music, is Taylor Swift. I do know, though, what is going on outside? The wind chimes, that's what it is. I do know that Taylor Swift's newest album, from the bits I've heard about it when it came out, is that she's very much trying to be a Sabrina Carpenter, and it just doesn't work when it comes from her. But I think when Taylor Swift tries to emulate you, you know you've got the music industry in a chokehold. She's like, Taylor Swift tried to do the little cheeky Sabrina Carpenter act, and it again, I haven't listened to the album, but I read some of the lyrics and I saw some people talking about the lyrics, and I was like, oh, that's not how you do that. That, yeah. No, I agree, Jim. It's like so much appreciation and respect for what Taylor Swift has built and what she's been able to do. But her music before this album wasn't my type, my thing, and that's a new record from what I have heard. It definitely isn't either. Jim, I know who Addison Rae is, but I'm not, like, I've never heard a song of hers. I am ignorant to Addison Rae. AGP, you say your partner is a long-time TS fan and she hates this new album. That's what I'm hearing, is that Taylor Swift fans are turning on her. Max says, I like Swift's old music, but when she went pop, it was a downgrade for me. Right. Move towards full commercials, says Jim. you recommend Addison Rae's album. I'm gonna go put it on my Apple Music right now, so I don't forget. What I had on, the last thing I was listening to before I went live was, I had my music on shuffle, and it was Overkill by Holly Humberstone. I love this album. I don't want to play music by accident. I think it was an EP, Can You Afford to Lose Me? Not a full length. Her newer album I'm not as into, but I had Apple Music pulled up so I can remember to listen to Addison Rae. Fame is a Gun. Is she... Oh, Fame is a Gun is a song. Addison is the album. She's a TikToker. Is she also an actor? Has she acted in anything? Speaking of acting, guys, Ready or Not 2. Is anyone else super excited for Ready or Not 2? I loved the first movie. I'm a Scream girly. One of my favorite movies of all time is Scream. And I think Ready or Not did an amazing job with the slasher comedy. Are we about to pull some more teams? Are we gonna wait a half hour every time we draw some nations? Yeah, loved Ready or Not 2, and they just announced, loved Ready or Not, and now they just announced Ready or Not 2, which takes place immediately after the first one. And I loved it, and I loved, what's her name? Not Samira Wiley. She's the girl from Orange is the New Black. Anyway, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is in the new movie as well. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar is gonna die early because she's Sarah Michelle Gellar. Probably didn't want to or need to be on set that long. However, I can't wait. We've got a new Scream coming out in February, and then Ready or Not 2 coming out in, I think, March or April. So I'm stoked for winter and spring scary movies. Chain remover and underscores are both going to be huge in like 5 to 10 years. Thank you, Peg. I'm going to look into them as well. Do we have time to keep talking about that? Jim says, haven't seen Ready or Not. Do I have any other recs in that genre? A Chalamet film about table tennis. I think that's the one that he's been going out and that the marketing for the... I know there's been some really weird Chalamet marketing out there recently. Definitely watch Ready or Not, though. I bet you've seen Scream. The thing is, it's hard to do well. I've been waiting. I also like Groundhog Day type of movies. And I haven't been able to watch I think it's called Happy Death Day. Because it's never... Why is there a skit going on? I'm not listening to it, I'm just hearing it. But I can see that there's a skit going on with Shaq or Tom Brady and Kevin Hart. Can we get to picking out teams? Yeah, I haven't been able to watch Happy Death Day, but I think it would be right up my alley. Part 1. Is it happening? Can we get to it? I just want to know how bad Canada's group is going to be. But Jim, I'm going to give some more thoughts because I think it's hard to do, especially because it's been done so well by Scream so long ago. That the bar was set really high, but Ready or Not is so good. see if I can. Someone was asking about picture-in-picture, and like I said, I'm not going to play a stream because I don't know how litigious FIFA or I'm watching the TSN stream. I think TSN could be pretty litigious, but maybe I can put on like some sort of graphic. Does FIFA have anything going on? Follow live. It's not great. It's not great. Maybe we can just follow along at home. Draw. Live draw. Just brings me back to this website, yeah. It's happening. It's happening, guys. I think it's happening. Should be a live graphic of the draw. That's what I was thinking, Patrick, but the one on the FIFA website is like a list that you have to scroll. All top 8 teams will be spread apart and should only meet in the quarters. Yeah, Benjamin, well, that's at least true of the top 4. They can only meet in the semis, and only some of them can meet in the semis. Benjamin says, but Canada will give France, Spain, and this year's start somehow. That's what I'm thinking. Well, here, I can do this, guys. We're working on it. Powered by Aramco, of course it is. Brazil. Does that work? And now you're hearing. Now you're hearing the drum. Let me mute that. Okay, now I think you can't hear the video. Where does that leave us? This is not a great website. I'm not convinced. People say, oh look, we actually we're drawing teams now. Okay. Oh, someone was saying this is good. Alright, Benjamin, let me get back to that then. We'll go back to FIFA's webpage. A lot of clicking around. There you go. There you go. I should probably move my face here so that I'm looking at the screen. They're not updating it super quickly though. Germany is showing up. Netherlands. Is Brazil up there? Oh yeah, they just don't have a flag. Alright. Canada versus FIFA, says Benjamin. Mohammed, this year I'm not sure. I keep saying I'm glad we qualified 4 years ago to at least justify this a little bit. But I'm not sure we would have qualified this year. Spain Group H. It really only gets interesting after the first round is gone, isn't it? After the first pot is gone. Argentina going to be Group I? Yeah, Jim, I completely agree. I don't expect a group of death. Yeah. Group J for Argentina, we're seeing the first split because of Spain and Argentina. So back to Group I. France. And then that means England can be in Group K, right? England and Portugal. Portugal get Group K. We don't need to pick the last ball. It's England. England to Group L. No, Jim, I think where the confusion happened was that Argentina had to be in Group J rather than Group I because of the bracket split. Group L sounds ridiculous. It does, doesn't it? We're not used to that. So, okay. So now we've got to pause for another half hour before we get to part 2. I don't know why Brazil doesn't have a flag, but Jim, I think we found the name of our band. I'm okay with a little break, AGP, like HAP, like a real quick break. But we should keep it rolling. Tuchel in the suit. It is strange to see Tuchel in a suit, isn't it? It's falling apart, guys. It is falling apart. Yeah. Let's keep it going. Nope. A little intro video. We're all just too excited. Okay, now it's gonna start. Now it's gonna start heating up. Big Shaq, don't disappoint me. Guys, I miss Big Shaq. Wasn't that his name? The man's not hot guy? One of the 2 greatest Shaqs. I said, babe, man's not hot. What year was that? Must have been like 2008-ish. Who do I want in Canada's group, says Jem. Well, like I said before, like Australia, Iran maybe. Australia or Iran. Qatar, Uzbekistan, Haiti, Curacao. Anyone from any of the countries that have qualified from Pot 4, none of the ones to come. I hope from Pot 4 we get one of the countries that are already qualified. Jordan, Cabo Verde, Ghana, Curacao, Haiti, and New Zealand. One of those. Yeah, that's Big Shack. Man can never be on. Who Wales will play after beating Italy in the playoffs, says AJP. South Korea personally in our group. So you can chirp your Korean friends. Fardid was Big Shack Man's Not Hot really 2017? That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm losing my mind. Alright, we're going. Who's getting Group A? The balls are tiny in Shaq's hands. There you go. Oh no, Korea goes to Group A. So, Mac, we're not getting Korea. You don't get to chirp your friends. Okay, everyone confirming that I am losing my mind. I felt like Man's Not Hot was from my high school days. I don't know why I thought that. Switzerland to Group Canada. That means we're gonna play against my Fabian my Fabian. Group C gets. Yeah, I feel like Shaq could just crush it open. I agree that Switzerland will be tough for Canada. Morocco to groups C. I love whoever that was from Morocco. I love that reaction. Our color rival, says Benjamin. Our cool flag rival. Wouldn't it? Now I'm just hoping for a fully red and white. Who would that leave us with? Tunisia. If we draw Tunisia, is there one team that hasn't qualified yet that could give us a full red and white group? Australia going to Group D with the United States. Francophone group. Tunisia would still work. Francophone group for Group B, I like it. Yeah, if Switzerland is the only UEFA nation. Poland, that's the one. Okay, Ecuador to Group E. Yeah, if we get Poland and Tunisia in Group B, we could have a fully red and white group. Jim liking Morocco versus Brazil. Who are we getting to Group F? Patrick? Want to hear what you have to say here? Japan. Jim disowning Canada if Poland are in the group. Okay, but once Canada gets out of the group stage and Poland doesn't. Netherlands with Japan is a tough shout. More than one team can get through though. Group G is gonna be Iran. To Belgium. Who's joining Spain? Is it going to be Austria? I think it's going to be Austria. Uruguay. Patrick says Croatia, Morocco, and Japan are the toughest teams in Pod 2. Croatia still to come. Japan is a very interesting team. They score 3 out of 4 goals every match. Or 3 to 4 goals every match. Very good attitude. Yeah. Definitely Group F is lining up to be interesting so far. Who's going into Group I with France? Could be Senegal. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be fun. That was like I was making a wish list as they drew it. I mean, it's gonna be heckin' tough for Senegal, but it's gonna be interesting. Oh, what I do? There you go. America at the World Cup if he doesn't get the sack before. French colony group, exactly. I think it'll be interesting. For some reason, my chat is... There you go, I fixed it. I think I can actually... Oh, it's in white. You won't see it. Yeah, no, you won't see it. So, Austria to Group J with Argentina. And now Group K, Colombia with Portugal. We've got a Spanish-speaking group now. Oh my god. Forget I said that. I have half a mind of stopping the stream right now. I have a brain, I promise. I know we don't speak Spanish in Portugal. I'm so sorry. I need the bananas. Croatia. Group L is gonna be interesting. Yeah. I'm just trying to get the engagement up, you know, Jim. Trying to start a war in the comments. At least I caught myself. Yeah, England, Croatia is gonna be a real tough one. How are you guys feeling about the groups so far? Mexico, Korea, Canada, Switzerland. Switzerland is gonna be tough for Canada. So now I'm just hoping for an all red and white group for funsies. Brazil, Morocco. I mean, there's no arguing that Brazil is a giant, but Morocco is such an interesting team recently. USA, Australia, going in for English-speaking countries. Germany, Ecuador. Netherlands, Japan is interesting. Belgium, Iran. Spain, Uruguay is the Spanish-speaking group I was talking about, obviously. France and Senegal, I think whoever ends up, I think France is going to run away with this group, obviously, but I'm excited for the matchup. Argentina, Austria, Portugal, Colombia, and England, Croatia. Group L is shaping up to be exciting as well. But it's like we've all been agreeing on. We're not going to get a proper group of death. Like, which group do you think has the most promise for being, like, the closest thing to a group of death right now? It's shaping up to be like... I mean, it's shaping up to be L right now, right? England, Croatia. We'll see. What do you guys guys saying? I feel like England versus Croatia happens every World Cup. It does feel like that. Morocco are underrated, one of the fittest and most organized nations. Good youth setup, says Jim. Wales are going to get put in Belgium's group. I can just feel it. Talking like we've already qualified, says HAP. Just no Norway in our group, and I'll take it. Patrick, I hope you didn't just jinx it. Last group, Mario agrees. How are we feeling about facing Switzerland? Not good, Francis. Francis Lalonde. Oh my god. Hey Frenchie. I don't feel good about Switzerland, Francis. I hope you pronounce your name Francis and not Francis, because I'm calling you Francis. No more European teams in Group L, though. That's true, Patrick. That's very true. South Africa going to Group A. See, it's getting tricky now because we're getting in at the point where we can't have the World Cup opener. June 11th. Mexico, South Africa. Been decided. Yeah, we're gonna start jumping around in groups now because you can only have a maximum of 2 UEFA teams in one group. Patrick's right about that. Qatar going to Group B? Maybe. Presumably. They have to do the math. I'm gonna let them do the math. It is Group B. I feel okay about that. I feel okay about drawing Qatar. HAP, yeah, considering 2 teams go through. Paraguay. For Group C. They're gonna start to need to shuffle them around. There's factors, they say. Paraguay to Group D. And that's USA's opening game. Yeah, we still don't know who Canada's opening game is gonna be. We don't know who else is getting the bad deal of having to go Toronto to Vancouver between their matches. Someone got mad at me in the comments for saying that. They were like, it's not that big of a deal. I've traveled with a professional team between Toronto and Vancouver. It's a big deal. Côte d'Ivoire. Wait, so Côte d'Ivoire is going to go into Group E, presumably? We're skipping over Group C for now. Morocco's already in Group C, so I think we have to put them in Group E. Yeah, they're confirming that. Yeah. Yeah, feeling good about Qatar for sure. We got Qatar, boys. Wheels, knives, alley, boys. Tunisia, so that's gonna go into Group F. Yeah. Yeah. It does ruin the French-speaking pattern. Oh yeah, it does count as white and red though. It works for our color scheme. Group A will get a European team guaranteed, says Patrick. Yeah, I'm not discounting the Swiss HAP. So Egypt is gonna go down into Group G, presumably. Group C is still waiting for their 3rd team. Egypt in Group G. And then that leaves Algeria. So Algeria's gonna have to be down here. Not in Group I though. Algeria will be H or K or L or J. There's so many groups. Scotland. So Scotland is gonna come back up here, aren't they? Group C for Scotland. That's tough. That's tough. Brazil and Morocco. Yeah, no, HAP, I'm not discounting Switzerland for Canada. They're going to be a tough opponent. The good thing is that at least 2 teams get through the group. Saudi. So Saudi is going to go into Group H. Patrick feels bad for Scotland. Yeah, big yikes for Scotland all around. Memories of 1998 for Scotland versus Brazil, says Jim. That's a tough draw for Scotland. That's tough. I'm sorry, guys. Who do we have next? Going into Group, so Algeria, so not Group I. Group J for Algeria. Yeah. Argentina's first game is against Algeria. We're going strong for a fully A country list in Group J. Yep, Patrick saw that too. Who are we trying next? Uzbekistan. So Uzbekistan are going to come up in Group I. Group J is Group A, says Patrick. That's true. We should just flip them. It's the only right thing to do. Max says, did France colonize Panama? Is the dream alive? You know what? I feel like northern France has a lot of like Nordic influence had in the day, so it could be Norway. Panama. You had it. So wait, so Panama. Yeah, Panama's Group I. I would have preferred Norway for the colonization aspect. Another Spanish-speaking country for Group K is Chadi. Francis, did I know you were from Orléans? I'm from Orléans. Have we talked about this before, Francis? So Norway is going to Group I. Yes. Panama went to Group L because it couldn't be Norway in Group L because that would have made 3 UEFA teams, which is why Norway goes to Group I. And according to my theory that northern France had a heavy Norway influence, it works. It's the blondes. What are you guys saying? RIP Uzbekistan says HAP. Brazil versus Scotland was not on your bingo card, AJ. But let's see, which group are there? There's so many groups to keep track of. Somewhere around here. Yeah, Brazil, Morocco, Scotland is rough for Scotland. Francis says, but yeah, looking forward to the World Cup and hoping Canada can make it to the knockout stage. So far, so good. Switzerland's gonna be tough. Qatar we can handle, hopefully. Group K isn't. Yeah, Group K. K. Portugal, Uzbekistan, Colombia. Yeah, so that dream's dead as well. Easy group for England. Well, yeah. I mean, they're not gonna like steamroll Croatia, but it's looking good for England. 2018 vibes, says Patrick. Yeah, Tori, what a legend. Am I going to review the draw at the end of the stream or do a separate video about it? Jem, I think we're gonna share our initial thoughts, but I think a separate video is definitely called for. France, Senegal, Norway is the closest to a group of death. Yeah, hopefully they draw. No, they can't draw one of the UEFA. Where's our group of death? Here it is. They can't get a European team, and they can't get an African team. Now, if we look at the pots, that means Jordan's out. Ghana's out. Curacao, Haiti, New Zealand, or one of the 2 FIFA playoff spots. Whoever gets drawn here is gonna get trampled, I think. Is there another UEFA team for Group C? And that was Mario. There definitely is another. There's 4 UEFA teams left, so one of them is gonna get slotted in here, I imagine. Eventually Italy in Group L, no doubt. Luckily, for Italy, that cannot happen. Italy cannot go to Group L because of Croatia and England. But HAP says Italy won't make it. Yeah, Francis, you knew. Did you go, Francis? Did you go to the CPL final? Some serious maths necessary to see which teams can still go to certain groups. What's up, Moose? Thanks for joining us. Look at that fancy trophy next to your name. Alright. Oh no, Wayne Gretzky. Winner of Denmark, North Macedonia, Czechia, and Republic of Ireland. And of course, Wayne Gretzky pronounced it Macedonia. Love those Macedonia nuts. So, European Playoff D goes to Group A. The only European team in Group A. Let's see about Group B. And we can get that. Oh, guys, we're getting Wales or Italy. Oh, no. First of all, Insured Frames, thank you so much for the super chat. You say goal is to avoid the winner of Playoff A, which is probably Italy. And then as soon as you said that, I'm sorry, I know that the draw, Haiti for Group C, I know that the draw has to go on, but this was a worst case scenario for Canada for Group B. I'm not convinced we're leaving the group stage now. Oh my god, that's terrible. Insured Frames. Caraco. Who let Wayne Gretzky get up there? Who let Wayne Gretzky get up on stage and pronounce country names? Caraco and North Macedonia. Jim says that Canada versus Wales is bigger than Fulham Newcastle. Good point. Italy, as they never make the knockouts. See, now I have to support Italy through over Wales. We'll talk about it more at the end of this. Suriname, he got Suriname. Good for you, Wayne. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get back into the draw, but we need to talk about Group B, and we need to talk about injured frames. And your very, very kind super chat. Yeah, okay, let's get back. So we're down to Group I now. We had to skip a couple groups to put the playoff tournament winner number 2 in. And now there's still room in Group D. Cabo Verde is gonna go to Group H. Spain's opening game. Yeah, you would think so, Whitman, wouldn't you? Adam, very good point. Again, we'll get back to Group B in a minute, but Northern Ireland could save everything. So Wayne Gretzky has been pronouncing how to pronounce Turkey, but not Macedonia or Curacao. Cool. Group I is the one potentially with Bolivia. That's the hellish group, says Jim. Dylan says it was fun while it lasted for us Scots. It was bad, guys. Alright, we are in theory in Group H now. No, we're done. Group H. Group G. European Playoff B can go to Group G. I didn't know we weren't done with Group F yet. So Patrick, so you're getting the Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia, and the UEFA Playoff B winner. So now we're going down to Group G. I got so mixed up when Group B was finished being drawn that I'm getting my bearings now. Patrick happy with the group. So now we're looking at Group J, Jordan, and Group K and L and G are left. Ghana, New Zealand, and the FIFA playoff winner. Who's it gonna be? And which group are they going to? Congo, Jamaica, and New Caledonia. So it's not going to be Group G. it's gonna be Group K. Yeah. Yeah, because at quick glance we had African teams in Group I and Group G, so that was my point of reference. Group G and L are left, Ghana and New Zealand. So we already knew Group G is getting New Zealand, and Group L is getting Ghana because of how it's working out. So England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. I think England is comfortable. And then New Zealand is going to Group G with Belgium, Egypt, and Iran. Very interesting. They keep going to Tuchel. Alright. Let's see how Gretzky pronounces New Zealand. James, you think England could slip up, eh? The strongest country in pot 4 says in shirt frames, other than the potential threat of Italy in playoff A. Oh, and Adam, I don't think it's an easy group. I've been saying earlier when people were saying England and Croatia and Panama that England was good, I was like, I'm not giving, like, it's not going to be an easy group. But I think England is out of the group stage. Okay. So, let's talk. I'm just gonna catch up on chat real quick. So again, in shirt frames, thank you so much for the very, very kind super chat. You said just before Group B was drawn, you said the goal is to avoid the winner of playoff A, which is probably Italy. As an Argentinian, that's what it was. As an Argentinian, you're scared they're in Group J. Because it came with a super chat, I will allow for the fact that you made them go to my Group B. Thank you again for the super chat. The support from you guys is incredible and means the world and keeps this channel running. But that's it for Canada. I'm not being pessimistic. I felt good about Qatar. I don't feel great about Switzerland. And then we're probably getting Wales or Italy. And that's bad news for Canada as well. Although I think it's Adam who brought up the good point that in keeping with the red and white theme of Group B, it's going to be Northern Ireland, which I'm still not saying we have a chance against Northern Ireland, but so Group A I should say, is death, but only for Canada. And in short frames, it is calling it an Italy win. So if that's the case, it would be Canada, Italy, Qatar, Switzerland. And Canada would have to hope to be out or to be in through a third place, like best third place kind of situation. David said Group C has potential of group of death. That would be Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Definitely an interesting group. It's going to be a fun group to follow. Anyway, one of the closest we have to a group of death for sure. Yeah, Jim. I can't believe we got that draw. But yeah, if it's Italy, just because Italy is cursed, we could get through. Yeah, Massimo, we might see you. We might see you in the group stage. What a nightmare. What is everyone saying? Jim is saying, is Group I the one with potentially Bolivia? I need to find them open in front of me, like the potentials. Because Jim says Scotland can get out of that group. Poland. Oh, it's Poland that could get. So, Jim, are you saying that Poland could be in the group of death with, well, who would it be? France, Senegal, Norway, Poland. GG's Poland. Patrick is satisfied with the Netherlands draw of Japan, Tunisia, and a UEFA team. Insured Frames very happy with the Jordan draw for Group J, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. So we don't get a Group A out of Group J. But yeah, Argentina's gonna trample Group J. And then knowing that Spain, if they finish top of their group, won't be on the same side of the bracket as Argentina. And when you look at Spain's group, I think they're going to top the group. So there you go. We've got Spain and Argentina in separate sides of the bracket. What about France and England? Group I is tough. Senegal and Norway. I still think that France is going to come out top of group, but they're going to have to play for it. And England has Croatia, Ghana, Panama. So if England drops some points and finish second, like I do think, I know we're debating. I'm not saying Group L is an easy group. I'm saying I think England are getting out of the group stage. I think it's easy to dismiss England, especially when you're English. Kind of like that doom, that sense of doom. I do think England is coming out. It could be in second, and then we could see them on the same side of the bracket as France. Chadi is excited for that New Caledonia-Uzbekistan matchup. Although it's not happening. Not in the group stage. No, it is happening. It could happen in the group stage. Let's see, where was I? I've been good with keeping up, but now I want to see what you guys are saying. Let's see, it's tricky. Another easy England group. Who would have seen it coming? HAP, I don't think that's easy. Ghana is probably the strongest country in Pot 4, other than the potential threat of Italy for playoff A, says Frames. Will they be doing Pathway 2 as part of the draw? No, I don't think so, Jim. I think Pathway is coming tomorrow, but don't take my word for it. Pains me to say it, but England are big favorites to make it far. I think they'll coast through the groups as HAP. So basically, our Canada will be in the same group as Italy. Nice. Pathway will not be shown, says Patrick. It will be announced tomorrow. Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, Adam, everyone's allowed to argue with everyone. Insured says, you just realized they never could have joined because you have Austria. Your fears weren't founded. So, Insured Frames, you gave us Italy or Wales when you didn't even have to jinx it for Canada. Yeah, we're holding Insured Frames personally responsible. Never underestimate playing close to home. Yeah, insured. Yeah. You could have had 2 European teams. You're tripping. I've calmed down. We are beating Brazil and Morocco easy, says Dylan. Brazil and Morocco. Yeah, Haiti's gonna give you a good run, though. Group I will be the group of death, yeah. Group F is insured frames, group of death. Jim, if you make it out to a game out here, or on the east coast of North America, I should say, let me know. I'm also tempted to get some tickets, and I think there's some tickets going on sale very, very soon, but you have to be a member of Canada Soccer, and it's a lot of money to spend, so I'm teetering. Raven likes Norway's odds. That's a tough group, dude. Let me look at this one again. France, Senegal, Norway. Yeah, Group I is gonna be a lot of fun to watch. Let me try to catch up here. We're still trying to figure out the groups, aren't we? Yeah, Jim, I'm gonna try to. Yes, I want to, and I better do it sooner rather than later, because the longer I wait, the more expensive they're gonna be. Yeah, I should get serious about looking at tickets, because I would probably be disappointed if I didn't go to a match. But the amount of matches in Toronto are limited, so it might require more travel. Maddie, will I do a predictions video? We're going to be doing a lot of World Cup content in the coming months, so definitely a predictions video is needed. But before that, we've got playoff predictions. It's going to be fun. We've got a lot of other jerseys that have yet to come out, so lots of World Cup content, but predictions for sure, and probably multiple prediction videos. Insured says, oh yeah, Tunisia beat France to give themselves a chance, but then Australia won on the last day, making it all for naught in 2022. Yeah, exactly, Patrick. So I'll do predictions after the playoffs. I'll do predictions after the group stages. Although, if you guys still haven't seen my Euros prediction video, go check that one out next, because I predicted the final matchup. If I remember correctly, I hadn't predicted the winner of the Euros, but I had the matchup right. And let me remind all of you England naysayers that England did very well at the Euros. So if everyone can keep their egos in check, I think it's going to be a good year for England. You're right, Jim. Some matches will not sell out. It might be cheaper to travel, to get on a plane to some American city rather than to try to watch the limited matches that are taking place in Canada. And it's also, traveling across the country in Canada is so expensive. Getting over the Rocky Mountains is insane. So it would definitely be more affordable to go see a match in the United States than to go to Vancouver, which is nuts. England should have beaten France and Qatar as well in the quarters. That's right, Patrick. I remember watching that game at a pub. That was a shocker, wasn't it? Guys, it has been almost 2.5 hours, and and I gotta get some work done. and now we're remembering, as Jim says, the first half of the show. What the hell was that? We've gone on a long journey together today. Lots to digest. I'll be making a video in the coming days to address these groups. I'm just gonna go cry a little bit about Group B, and then I'll be okay. But I'm gonna go back to work now. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. This was so much fun. I'm so glad we got together to watch this. I think there's going to be a lot of streaming leading up to and during the World Cup. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't. But thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you to Jim and to Insured Frames for the super chats. You're far too kind. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll end it on Jim's words. Allez, Canada.